Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about professional-grade image editing, but here's the kicker. It's totally free. So let's just dive right in. So you want the power of a professional photo editing suite, right? But you don't want to shell out a ton of money? Well, what if I told you there's a tool out there that puts a full-blown digital studio right on your computer, and it costs absolutely nothing? And here it is, GIMP. That stands for the GNU Image Manipulation Program. Now, don't let the free part fool you. This thing is an absolute powerhouse, packed with professional-level features. Seriously. And you can go download it right now from gimp.org. Okay, so here's our game plan. We're going to walk through the 5 key areas to get you up and running. We'll start with the workspace, then get into mastering selections, shaping and transforming things, painting and retouching, and finally, the secret sauce, the power of layers. Let's get to it.
All right, first things first, let's get you comfortable with the GIMP interface. I know, at first glance, a new program can look a little busy, but trust me, everything you need is right there at your fingertips.
So check it out. Over on the left, you've got your toolbox. That's where all your tools live. When you click on a tool, its settings pop up right underneath in the tool options. The big area in the middle? That's your canvas, your digital playground. And over on the right, you have the Layers panel, which is basically the command center for your entire project. Simple, right? Okay, let's move on to maybe the most crucial skill you'll learn, making selections. This is how you tell GIMP exactly what part of the image you want to mess with. Get this down and you unlock some serious editing power. Think about it like this. When you're painting a wall, you put masking tape down to protect the trim, right? It's the exact same idea here. You're isolating an area so you can work on it without accidentally changing anything else. It's the key to precise, clean edits. But what if you need to select something more complicated than just a simple box? You know, like a perfect circle or a really complex, curvy shape. Well, GIMP has you covered. There's a specialized tool for pretty much any kind of shape you can think of. And here they are, the core selection tools. You've got your basic rectangle and ellipse for simple shapes, sure. But the real magic starts with tools like the scissors select. It literally snaps to the edges of an object as you trace it. Or the fuzzy select, which can grab an entire blue sky with just one click. So useful. All right, so you've made your selection. Now what? Well, now comes the fun part. You can completely transform it. Let's talk about how you can resize, reshape, and reorient pretty much anything. This is where you can really start bending the image to your will. We're talking changing the size, tweaking the angle, even faking a 3D perspective. It's all about making elements fit perfectly into your final vision. So these are your heavy hitters. You'll be using scale and rotate all the time for basic adjustments. But you've also got tools like shear to tilt things, flip for a mirror image, and my personal favorite, the perspective tool, which can give things a really cool 3D depth effect. And, of course, crop, to trim away the unwanted edges of your whole image. Okay, now for the really fun part, adding your own artistic touch. We're moving beyond just editing photos and into the realm of digital painting and retouching. Let's check out the tools. Whether you need to fill a huge area or paint the finest detail, there's a tool for the job. You've got the bucket fill for big blocks of color, the gradient tool for those beautiful smooth blends, think sunsets. Then there's the classic paintbrush for soft strokes, the pencil for hard, crisp lines, and the airbrush for that nice soft spray paint effect. And these are your secret weapons for photo retouching. You can blend colors together with the smudge tool. It's just like smearing wet paint with your finger. You can blur things to soften them or sharpen them to add clarity. And then there's dodge and burn, which is an old darkroom trick for selectively lightening or darkening parts of your photo. Super powerful stuff. And what if you need to add some words? Easy. The text tool is awesome because it automatically puts your text on its very own dedicated layer. Why is that a big deal? It means your text stays completely editable. You can change the words, the font, the color, whatever, and you'll never mess up the image underneath. Okay, let's talk about the single most powerful concept in all of digital editing. I'm not exaggerating. This is the professional secret to everything. We're talking about layers. The best way to think about layers is to imagine they're like transparent sheets of plastic stacked on top of each other. You can draw on one sheet without touching any of the others. This means you can experiment with total freedom because every part of your image is independent and safe from accidental changes.
So look, here's a super simple example. On your bottom layer, you use the gradient tool to make a nice sky. Then you create a new layer on top of that, and you use the airbrush to paint some clouds. Now, you can smudge those clouds, erase parts of them, whatever you want, and you will never mess up that beautiful sky underneath. It's a non-destructive way to work.
And you have total command over these layers. You can add a new one, duplicate a layer if you want to try something risky, merge two layers together, or just delete one you don't need. And see that little eye icon? Just click it to hide a layer and see what your image looks like without it. It's incredibly flexible. So the main takeaway here is this. GIMP gives you all these powerful tools for selecting, transforming, and painting, but it's the layers that make the whole process safe and flexible. It's a complete, non-destructive workflow, and it's all right at your fingertips.
And just like that, you've got the foundational knowledge to start your own creative journey. We've gone over selecting, transforming, painting, and the absolute power of layers. I mean, that's the core of digital art and photo editing, right there.
So thank you for joining us for this explainer. At this point, your only limit really is your imagination. So what are you going to create first? Go download GIMP and bring those ideas to life.